An American Dictionary of the English Language. By Noah Webster. Legum Doctor.
First published in 1828, in 2 volumes.
Letter A. From ablen, to abound. Ablen, or ablet. Noun. A small freshwater fish, the bleak. Ableness. Noun. Ability of body, or mind. Force, vigor, capability. Ablepsy. Noun. Greek avlepsia. Want of sight, blindness. Abler, and ablest. Comparative and superlative of able. Ablocate. Verb transitive. Latin obloco. Ob and loco. To let out. To let out, to lease. Johannes Calvin. Ablocation. Noun. A letting to hire. Ablude. Verb transitive. Latin abludo. Ob and ludo. To play. To be unlike, to differ. Not used. Joseph Hall. Abluent. Adjective. Latin ablu. To wash away. Ob and lu. Or lowel, to wash. Irish low, or lua, water. Washing clean. Cleansing by water, or liquids. Little used, except as a noun. Abluent. Noun.
In medicine, that which thins.
Purifies, or sweetens the blood. John Quincy.
See diluent and abstergent.
Ablution. Noun. Latin ablutio. From ob and lu. Or lowel, to wash. 1.
In a general sense, the act of washing.
A cleansing, or purification by water. 2. Appropriately.
The washing of the body, as a preparation for religious duties. Enjoined by Moses, and still practiced, in many countries.
3. In chemistry. The purification of bodies, by the effusion of a proper liquor.
As water to dissolve salts.
John Quincy. 4. In medicine. The washing of the body externally, as by baths. Or internally, by diluting fluids. 5.
Pope has used ablution for the water used in cleansing.
6.
The cup given to the laity, without consecration, in popish churches.
Samuel Johnson. Ably. Adverb. In an able manner, with great ability. Abnegate. Verb transitive. To deny. Not used. Abnegation. Noun. Latin obnego, to deny. From ob and nego. Welsh naka, nakai. Swedish neka, to deny. Welsh knock, na. English nay. Latin neck, not. Irish knock, not. A denial, a renunciation, self-denial. Henry Hammond. Abnegator. Noun.
One who denies.
Renounces, or opposes anything. Sandys. Abnodation. Noun. Latin obnodo. Ob and nodus. A knot.
The act of cutting away the knots of trees.
Dictionary. Abnormity. Noun. Latin abnormis, irregular. Ob and norma, a rule. Irregularity, deformity. Little used. Dictionary. Abnormus. Adjective. Latin abnormis, supra. Irregular, deformed. Little used. Dictionary. Aboard. Adverb. A and board. Sea board. Within a ship, vessel, or boat. To go aboard, to enter a ship, to embark. To fall aboard, to strike, a ship's side. Aboard main tack. In order to draw a corner of the mainsail down to the chesstree. Encyclopedia. Marine Dictionary. Abundance. Noun. From bode. An omen. Not used. Samuel Johnson. Abode. Preterite tense. Of abide. Abode. Noun. See abide. Stay, continuance in a place. Residence for a longer or shorter time. 2. A place of continuance. A dwelling, a habitation. 3. To make abode. To dwell or reside. Abode. Verb transitive. See bode. To foreshow. William Shakespeare. Abode. Verb intransitive. To be, an omen. John Dryden. Abodement. Noun. From bode. A secret anticipation of something future. William Shakespeare. Aboding. Noun. Presentiment, prognostication. Hall. Abolish. Verb transitive. French abolir. Latin aboliho. From ab and olho. Olesco, to grow. 1. To make void, to annul. To abrogate, applied chiefly. And appropriately to established laws. Contracts, rights, customs, and institutions. As to abolish laws by a repeal, actual, or virtual. 2. To destroy, or put an end to. As to abolish idols. Isaiah, chapter 2. To abolish death. 2 Timothy, chapter 1. This sense is not common. To abolish posterity. In the translation of Pausanias, Liber 3, Caput 6. Is hardly allowable. Abolishable. Adjective. That may be annulled, abrogated. Or destroyed, as a law, right, custom, etc. Abolished. Participle passive. Annulled, repealed. Abrogated, or destroyed. Abolisher. Noun. One who abolishes. Abolishing. Participle of the present tense. Making void. Annulling, destroying. Abolishment. Noun. The act of annulling. Abrogation, destruction. Richard Hooker. Abolition. Noun. Abolition. The act of abolishing, or the state of being abolished. An annulling, abrogation, utter destruction. As the abolition of laws, decrees, ordinances, rights, customs, debts, etc. The application of this word to persons and things is now unusual or obsolete. To abolish persons, canals, and senses. The language of good writers formerly is no longer legitimate. Abominable. Adjective. See abominate. Very hateful. Detestable, loathsome. 2. This word is applicable to whatever is odious to the mind, or offensive to the senses. John Milton. 3. Unclean. Leviticus, chapter 7. Abominableness. Noun. The quality, or state of being very odious. Hatefulness. Abominably. Adverb. Very odiously, detestably, sinfully. 1 Kings, chapter 21. 2. In vulgar language, extremely, excessively. Abominate. Verb transitive. Latin abomino. Supposed to be formed by ab, an omen. To deprecate is ominous. May the gods avert the evil. To hate extremely. To abhor. To detest. Southern. Abominated. Participle passive. Hated utterly. Detested, abhorred. Abominating. Participle of the present tense. Abhorring, hating extremely. Abomination. Noun. Extreme hatred, detestation. Jonathan Swift. 2. The object of detestation. A common signification in Scripture. The way of the wicked is an abomination to the Lord. Proverbs, chapter 15. 3. Hence, defilement, pollution. In a physical sense, or evil doctrines and practices, which are moral defilements, idols, and idolatry are called abominations. The Jews were an abomination to the Egyptians, and the sacred animals of the Egyptians were an abomination to the Jews. The Roman army is called the abomination of desolation. Matthew, chapter 24, verse 13. In short, whatever is an object of extreme hatred is called an abomination. Abhorred. Noun. French. See border. Literally, a rival. But used for first appearance, manner of accosting, or address. But not an English word. Philip Stanhope, 4th Earl of Chesterfield. Abhorred. Verb transitive. To accost. Not in use. Aborrhea. Noun. A species of duck, called by Edwards the black-bellied, whistling duck. This fowl is of a reddish-brown color, with a sort of crest on its head. The belly is spotted with black and white. It belongs to the genus Anas. Aboriginal. Adjective. Latin ob and origo. Origin, see origin. First, original, primitive. Aboriginal people are the first inhabitants of a country. Aboriginal tribes of America. President Smith. Refers to Samuel Stanhope Smith. Aboriginal. Noun. An original or primitive inhabitant. The first settlers in a country are called aboriginals, as the Celts in Europe and Indians in America. President Smith. Refers to Samuel Stanhope Smith. Aborigines. Noun plural. Aboriginals, but not an English word. It may be well to let it pass into disuse. See aboriginal. Aborcement. Noun. Aborcement. See abort. Abortion. Not in use. Abort. Verb intransitive. Latin aborto. Ob and ortus, orir. To miscarry in birth. Not in use. Herbert. Abort. Noun. An abortion. Not in use. Robert Burton. Abortion. Noun. Latin abortio, a miscarriage. Usually deduced from ob and orir. 1. The act of miscarrying, or producing young before the natural time, or before the fetus is perfectly formed. 2. In a figurative sense, any fruit or produce that does not come to maturity, or anything which fails in its progress before it is matured or perfect, as a design or project. 3. The fetus brought forth before it is perfectly formed. Abortive. Adjective. Brought forth in an immature state. Failing or coming to naught. Before it is complete. 2. Failing in its effect. Miscarrying, producing nothing. As an abortive scheme. 3. Rendering abortive as abortive gulf. In John Milton. But not legitimate. 4. Pertaining to abortion. As abortive vellum. Made of the skin of an abortive calf. Encyclopedia. 5. In botany, an abortive flower is one which falls without producing fruit. Thomas Martin. Abortive. Noun. That which is brought forth or born prematurely. Little used. Abortively. Adverb. Immaturely, in an untimely manner. Abortiveness. Noun. The state of being abortive. A failing in the progress to perfection or maturity. A failure of producing the intended effect. Abortment. Noun. An untimely birth. Francis Bacon. Abound. Verb intransitive. Latin abundo. French abunde. Italian abundare. Spanish abundar. If this word is from Latin unda, a wave, the latter has probably lost its first consonant. Abound may naturally be deduced from the Celtic Armenian faun, plenty. Fauna, to abound. Welsh vunya, to produce. To generate, to abound, from vun. A source, the root of phonon. Latin fens, a fountain. 1. To have, or possess in great quantity. To be copiously supplied. Followed by with, or in. As to abound with provisions. To abound in good things. 2. To be in great plenty. To be very prevalent. Where sin abounded, grace did much more abound. Romans, chapter 5. Abounding. Participle of the present tense. Having in great plenty. Being in great plenty. Being very prevalent. Generally prevailing. Abounding. Noun. Increase. Robert South. Next page begins with about. Original source text is in the public domain. This audio recording, including AI-assisted narration, restoration, and editorial structure is copyrighted 2026 by News of Folios. All rights reserved. Ablen. 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 Ablit. 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 Ableness. 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 Ablepsy. 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 Ablar. 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 Ablest. 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 Ablocate. 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 Ablocation. 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 Ablude. 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 Abluent. 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 Ablution. 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 Ably. 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 Abnegate. 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 Abnegation. 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 Abnegator. 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 Abnodation. 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 Abnormity. 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 Abnormous. 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 Aboard. 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 Abundance. 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 Abode. 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 Abodement. 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 Aboding. 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 Abolish. 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 Abolishable. 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 Abolished. 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 Abolisher. 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 abolishing, 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 abolishment, 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 abolition, 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 abominable, 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 abominableness, 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 abominably, 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 abominate, 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 abominated, 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 abominating, 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 abomination, 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 aboard, 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 aberea, 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 aboriginal, 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 aborigines, 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 aborcement, 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 abort, 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 abortion, 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 abortive, 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 abortively, 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 abortiveness, 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 abortment, 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 abound, 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 abounding, abounding, abounding,